Well, folks, it looks like we got yet some more juicy tech leaks right after the week of 2025 Computex, just when it ended. Let's get into this. Hey everyone's by Law Tech banging up some more tech news on this beautiful Saturday. Now we're fresh off the week of Computex 2025 ending, and we got yet some more juicy rumors that's coming out not rumors, tech leaks coming out the woodwork. This time around is from something I don't usually see leaks on, and that's Tom's Hardware, because I usually see leaks and rumors from wccftech and viewthoscards.net. So Tom's Hardware, according to their sources, found out that there was the newest AIDA64 application version that came out this year. Pretty much, not this year, this month, pretty much had a listing. You know how release notes shows you everything that update or application version has and why, if any bug fixes and stuff like that. Well, this time around, they had a line in the AIDA64 release note saying, hey, this application version XYZ is geared towards next gen AMD Zen, AMD Ryzen, blah blah blah, and it was a very strong hint in that release note. And they'll go into more details in the article about what other things are pointed to that the AIDA64 release note is pointed to. And the first thing I was pointing to, were like really hard pointing to, was Zen 6 getting released next year on the earlier half of next year. So like within the first 6 months of next year, 2026. So I'm thinking if it is the game released next year early, it's probably I'm thinking the earliest beginning of June, like we're in June now. And at the latest, I'm thinking August, if they don't want to get to Q3, Q4 territory. But we don't know. They didn't say any specific dates. They said that had all these hints that pointed towards within the first couple of months of 2026, Zen 6, codename Medusa, is going to be released. Kind of a lot of hints pointed to that. So this just hints that they gauged from the article and what Tom's Hardy got from their sources, and that combined with what AIDA64 release notes said. But for the most part, it was heavily showing and breaking down the characteristics of how the Zen 6 CCD configurations are going to be. So now, right now, we're in an 8-core CCD configuration, I believe, and we cap out at 16 cores, which is 8-core CCDs. So now they're saying in the article, they went to break it down further, but they said, hey, it's going to be 6-core CCDs to be, on the lower end of the spectrum. I guess probably they could probably do 6, 12. I don't know how they can do it, but it says 6-core CCDs. So right now, what the article's brought down what it said is that they're gonna start on the lighter or lower end CPUs. They're going to start with 6-core CCDs, I believe, is from what the article said. I'll put the article below in the description so you can read it at your leisure, because I'm just kind of trying to relay stuff at the top of my head that I saw in the article. So I may be not fully accurate on everything because I'm trying to go from memory. But back on topic, so they said the lower end is going to be like 6-core CCDs usage. And then they did say that when it gets to the higher ones, there's going to be a 12-core CCD. What this means, which broke it down even more, is that they could potentially potentially aiming to break past the 16-core barrier if they really start at 12-core CCDs for the higher end ones, which means you'll have a single CCD for the 12-core, which will work better than the current format they have, which is a 1 8-core, 1 4-core, I believe, or something along those lines for the 12-core here. Same for the X3D 12-core chip, versus the 16-core X3D has 2 8-core CCDs. So one is 6 and 6. The 12-core is 6 and 6-core CCDs for the 12-core X3D, and then 8-core CCD is 8 and 8. So 2 8-core CCDs. That's why a lot of articles and people out there that do reviews on these processors say that the 16-core is a better buy, paying extra money for the 16-core X3D, because the 12-core it performs pretty much like the regular 12-core with a little tweaks, but it doesn't have the same oomph that the 16-core CCD arrangement has, because it has 2 8-cores. And we all know a single 8-core CCD, we've seen in an 800X3 how powerful that is with us having a single 8-core CCD. But now you're jumping that 8-core CCD to 2 6-cores. Hence why the 12 core, people always say the 12, not to get a 12 core because it underperforms or is a waste of money. If you might as well spend the extra hundred and something dollars to get the extra 4 cores on the 16 core X3D chip. That's what a lot of people are saying, like reviewers and stuff. But back on topic, they're saying that the lower cores counts are going to be supposedly 6 core CCDs, and then when it gets to the 12 core and up, they're going to have a single 12 core CCD for the 12 core Zen 6. That's insane. A single 12 core CCD. That's ridiculous. That'll mean it'll have better yields performance wise than the 2 6-core CCDs that we currently use right now. And then they said with this if this new thing is true from what they're seeing or hearing from their sources, they're saying that Tom Sawyer is saying that pretty much that it could break up to the 32 core count barrier. So which means going past the 16 core top that we're at right now, and then go up to 32 cores on the mainstream AM5 platform. That's crazy. But there's a worry that I have for that, or 2 worries that I could see that could potentially bother people or budget conscious consumers. If they actually do the 12 core CCD for the 12 core, et cetera, and then make these things go up to 32 cores on the mainstream AM5, then that potentially means that if they plan to go up to 32 cores, that could encroach on the Threadripper product, which could be a problem and take away sales from Threadripper because people are not going to spend all these thousands of dollars on a Threadripper CPU, a motherboard, and memory, and they got a cheaper alternative on the mainstream AM5. Doesn't make sense because Threadripper starts on 24 core, then it goes to 32, then it goes to 64, et cetera. So that's the first worry I have. It encroaching on a Threadripper lineup, which is very niche, and the money bag version of processors, if for lack of a better term. And the next thing that worry is the wattage. If the wattage is lower than a legitimate branded Threadripper CPU, then that's another thing that could take sales away from the Threadripper niche, because then people could be like, okay, when I spend all these thousands of dollars on a whole Threadripper rig, enterprise or otherwise, use it for my data center or whatever, I could get a cheaper alternative that puts less wattage with the same core count. So there's a lot of things that I could add in there, but those are 2 main things that stick to me immediately of if they go to this route with the 12 core CCD. But y'all let me know in the comments below what y'all think. There's no release dates yet, but all throughout the article, strong hints about the release date or release time frame and how the CCD configuration is going to be. So let me know in the comments below what y'all think. Do y'all think this, if it is true, will y'all be happy? Do you also agree with me as far as encroaching on the Threadripper lineup? Let me know in the comments below your honest thoughts on this article, and I'll leave the article in the description below so you can read through it yourself. Until then, the Blair Lock Tech signing out.